Actually, what course are you taking afterwards in Germany?
I was thinking of taking engineering, but I haven't like specified what kind of engineering I want to take. It was either between electrical, chemical. Yeah, that's
Science, woman in STEM.
yeah, definitely.
Do you have any big takeaways from college or high school? And how would you compare your experiences in those two places?
Okay, we're gonna start with takeaways in college. I think the takeaway in college is being true to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can give you like a few examples because that was a bit like I think that was like a big topic of being true to yourself. There was like no specific things I've said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing is like I was in this club. I don't want to say what kind of club, but I couldn't find myself to fit in with them. I tried to force my way
Mm-hmm.
into like that friendship in that club, but I don't seem to like it, and sometimes it kind of drains my energy, and I find myself being awkward.
Mm.
So that's the thing that hits me, like it's my guts telling me that hey, like it's either they just you just don't fit with them because of their vibes, or they're just toxic, you know. So initially, I just let go of that kind of club. I just told myself that hey, it's fine. I'll just be proactive in the club, but I don't have to form some kind of special friendship with them, you know. And it was for a good reason. In the end, like my gut feeling was right. There was something toxic, a major thing happening in that club, and
Is it?
yeah,
No.
so it gave me like a big lesson. Like for 20 years of my life,
Mm-hmm.
your gut feeling has been telling you something is off, something is right, and you just gotta believe it, because you're here for like 20 years. I'm pretty sure you learned something, social cues and stuff. So you gotta believe in yourself. Yeah, and that's being true to yourself. Secondly is, yeah, if you think that you cannot cope with a certain subject or activity, you
Quit.
yeah
Quit
just
immediately.
you just quit. You don't have to force yourself just for that small certificate or a little highlight in that resume, because at the end of the day it's not worth it and you're not even going to be proud of it.
Yeah, and then you're like sacrificing so much of yourself for it, and it's just at the
Yeah,
end, like you look back and you're just like, for what?
for
For
what?
what?
And with that free time you could have done something way better that you actually like.
Yeah,
So yeah, don't waste your time lah.
don't waste your time. Trust your gut.
Trust your gut. Yeah, that's it. And I think my biggest takeaway in high school is that don't be too nice to people.
Controversial, but very true.
Yeah, if you think that like they're stepping on you, they're needing extra help and you kind of feel sus, just if you can't say no, like for me, because I cannot say no to people, I'll at least like make a stupid excuse. That's me. That's how I would say no. And because I had this really bad experience where like I had to deal with like a bunch of toxic people and they were like using me, and I was being stepped on everywhere in high school. So yeah, don't be too nice to yourself. I think everyone struggles being nice, being like a yes man. But I think when you grow, you just have to say no to certain people's and also certain opportunities. Yeah,
Damn, that's a lot there.
yeah.
But do you feel like it kind of hurt you a bit that you had to experience all in high school? That after that experience, you find it difficult to make friendships,
Yeah.
especially
Actually,
good friendships?
I actually until today I still find like a big struggle to like actually bond with someone and to form actual relationships with them. It's because of like my trauma and experience back in high school. But I always tell myself being alone is way better than being accompanied by a bunch of problems.
Say it again.
Yeah, sorry, I have to remember this. Being alone is way better than being accompanied by a bunch of problems.
So true. I feel like we're so conditioned by society and like the internet that we always have to surround with ourselves with people. Like to have a good life is to have constantly have noise and people around you, but it's always down to the quality ones that's essential to your life.
Yeah, That's true. And I only learned this, I think, this year
Mm-hmm.
from January to June because when I was taking A levels, I was kind of self learning it. There was no proper classroom for with friends for me to discuss and talk to them. So I was basically alone for the 6 months. It was really disturbing at some point because I felt so alone. But in the end, I had to swallow it. That it's fine. I'm not gonna have friends. There would be like sorry every day. I wouldn't have to talk to my friends, and sometimes it kind of sucks. But from that on, I learned to be more peace with myself. Like for instance, hey, I have a lot of free times. I can watch the movie. I can spend food on myself. That's the kind of like pros you get when you spend time alone. But from that on, when I started being okay, being alone for like a few weeks of my life, good people started coming into my life.
Yes.
There would be like people texting me, messaging me, like, hey, like it's been so long. I actually miss you. Let's hang out. And it started accumulating. So I think God planned this for a reason. So yeah, I'm pretty happy that it happened.
I do think it's a pattern, like when you let go of a desperation, that desire, things will naturally come to you when the time is right.
Yeah, that's it.
Sometimes it's not that easy though, because it's always that you really want this thing, you keep thinking about this thing, so it's like it's not the easiest thing to really put it down and set your mind elsewhere.
True. Yeah.
Toxic people, as you mentioned about your high school.
Okay. So back then we had like a bad perspective on toxic people due to how they treated me, and it was really the worst. But now when I look back at it, I think it was either two things. It was just a phase for them. They were just learning on how to treat people right. There were no textbook or education on how to treat your friends right or treat your boyfriend or girlfriend right. So we have to learn through like breakups or friendship breakups. That's one thing. So I could clarify that hey, some of these people they were toxic back then, but they might not be toxic today because they actually learned, and that's fine. But there are other things where like these toxic people they are toxic because they want to, and clearly like these toxic people they're toxic to you only because they haven't learned, or they're just really attracted to you. So that's why they have this like goal to just ruin or destroy you. That's it. So how I would cope with them is I wouldn't like acknowledge it to them, especially these toxic people. I'll just distance myself from them because some people when you confront them, they'll talk back. They don't want to listen. So what's the point of wasting your energy for them and caring for them when all this while they have been torturing you? So you're doing yourself a favor and them a favor to distance yourself from them. So it's fine. You don't have to feel bad about it. And in the end, they would realize that, hey, that you're actually distancing yourself from me. And soon enough, they'll kind of like understand why, or maybe they'll kind of like get the puzzle what went wrong. Yeah, that's it.
I do think it's really wise when you mention that if they were toxic back then, it's not certain that they're toxic now, because like people grow and change. But at the same time, you still have to acknowledge that these people hurt you and they are not the best for you, even if they've changed. I think that's like a really wise, honestly really kind thing, like how you think about it.
Yeah, this was like something that I had to explore by myself with the help of my boyfriend. Yeah.
I feel like the relationship you described with your boyfriend, it sounds very healthy. Like you guys give and take equally, and then you learn a lot from him. Like, do you think it's because he's slightly older, or it's because like his background, or it's just his mindset in general?
Initially, I had a phase where like I wouldn't date a guy which was my age and a guy that was younger because I thought dealing with them was terrible. Okay, so I always aim for dating older guys. So I dated him, but then I realized that it wasn't his age that made him mature. It was because his toxic past with people and also his toxic self made him mature. Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate on that? It sounds a bit.
I'm sorry. I mean, he told me that was like a phase where he was toxic to people. like being a bit aggressive on his tone and physically punching the wall. Okay, there was no people abuse, it's just punching the wall.
Scary though, still.
Anger issues,
Yeah,
yeah.
anger
I was
issues.
pretty scared, but I think he learned it the hard way because he kind of like scared all his exes away, you know.
Okay.
But his exes weren't good people either when I hear from it. So, but let's not focus on the exes, let's just focus on his like toxic behavior in the past. So from that on, he kind of had to learn it slowly from himself that hey, this is actually not good. I think he just came to a realization why they left him. And sometimes it's for a good reason why these people leave us, you know. It's not all because of bad stuff. It's also to like give you a lesson like hey, I left you because you were like this, and also you grow from it, you become a better partner to someone else. So it's fine. And I also believe that all this are already written somewhere before we were born, so I kind of trust God's plan.
God's plan. Yeah. But I do think, I mean, not to just give so much credit just because a man did it, but I do think it's really brave for him to really say, yeah, I did this, and really admit and confess to you about his wrongdoings in the past.
Yeah, I mean, why lie about it? I think it's so brave for a person to admit his toxic self, that he might be facing right now or that he had faced back then. I think I would respect someone more rather than them lying and covering up about it.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's it lah.
So do you think honesty is one of the biggest things that's like holding your relationship really tight?
Yes, honestly, like I think it's better just being brutally honest. Sometimes it sucks, sometimes it really hurts. But hey, if you're really in love with the person and his honesty is there for a reason, maybe because he wants to like to warn you about him. I think like that's one of the biggest take that he's actually in it. He actually wants this relationship to bloom. So I can work with him around his like toxic self. Yeah, that's it lah.
That's great. Because I feel like nowadays it's so common that especially for women, I mean like we deserve it of course, but a lot of us like we are conditioned to think that if I want a partner they should tick all the boxes right away from day one, and they immediately dismiss the fact that people would need time to grow and develop. Of course, I feel like at the same time it's like the best if you have someone who like tick all the boxes right away, but it's also important, as you said, to really have that company with them and go through time to grow and go through different challenges. I mean like that's what actually makes a relationship in a way.
Initially, I also thought that someone has to tick all the boxes, and also I have to be prepared and tick all of their boxes. But you just can't find that person. If you're asking for that kind of person, I think it's just AI. I'm sorry.
True. I definitely see your point there.
Yeah. So that's it lah. No one is ever perfect.
Okay. One last question.
Okay.
What's one thing you would tell your younger self back then and other girls out there who might be struggling with self-love and self-worth? Self-worth.
No worries. I think you. I say you just have to fake it till you make it. I don't want to try to repeat the points before, but I'll try to make it different. Based on my experience, I was being bullied by people because I was too nice to them, only because I wanted to gain their respect and also attention, being loved by them, basically. Soon later, I was being bullied from a student, which was my friend, to a group of moms. And that
Oh, that was wretched. Like, no, like in the worst way. That's, oh my god.
that was really bad. They gaslighted me till I had to take SPM somewhere else. So
Oh my
yeah.
god. So you had to like leave your dorm, like your boarding school to like.
I left abruptly without telling anyone because apparently everyone in my classroom hated me and nobody wanted to talk to me. That was the most difficult point in my life. I just felt like everything that I've built for, it was just destroyed right before my eyes.
It must be so heartbreaking for like little Dafina.
Yeah, little Dafina, like after that, I had really hard time eating. I had like an eating disorder afterwards, and it was something that I thought that would never happen to me because I love to eat. I wouldn't diet, okay? But then soon enough, when I knew that I had like eating disorder, I realized how much toxic these people can become to your life, especially when you're overly nice to them. So I guess being like being fake it till you make it is like when you have to say no to other people in life. Like there will always be people coming and going out of your life, but the only one that will stay is you yourself.
True.
You cannot like screw up your life because of them. You have to keep moving forward, and the best part, you have to acknowledge that these haters, they will always stick to you because either they have too much free time or they're just jealous of you, you know. So that's what I have till today. I still receive hate from them, but I'm proud about it because they actually
Until now.
yeah,
For
until
what?
now. Recently, I just discovered they were hating and mocking me on Twitter because I had my apartment and I didn't know about that.
Well, how did you find out?
Through my old friends that I still trust.
Yikes.
But it made me a bit happy because at least like someone finds my life interesting, and
Your life is interesting. Like,
it
if you
is.
need it here, it is interesting.
The more they try to push me down, I still go back up. And yeah, you just have to ignore their presence, still do good, or maybe just make it as like a pinpoint, like, hey, I have like people to attract, you know, I have their attention, so might as well use this time of hate to actually show what you're capable of, you know, instead of like being demotivated, self-pity yourself, why not make it into a motivation. So of course it wasn't easy at first. Of course in the end I had to fake it till make it. So now I'm pretty happy and content why they hate me. It's fine.
Got it. Okay. I mean, I'll just add one more last thing. One thing, like, you would say to those people who are still, like, mocking you to this day, or just, like, your high school bullies in general.
One thing that sorry?
Like, what you would say to them, like, if you get to meet them face to face.
Actually, that's pretty interesting. Initially, I thought I would want to be petty and started showing off, but when I started like discovering myself, I think I just want them to be friends with me back again. You know, those who
True, really?
yeah, those who shitted on me really bad till now, you guys can like just come to me and apologize sincerely. I can forget everything you guys did and just be friends again.
Mm, that's very nice of you though. Like wouldn't you want to be like just go in front of them and just be like bitch, like you know.
Oh, I mean, maybe subtly, but I like subtle, you know, in that way, but not too much because I don't wanna like overshine my petty self. If not, it seems yeah. If not, it seems like it's just backfiring. Like I'm supposed to be a new person, but then I'm still acting the same way everyone expects me to be. So I gotta show them my nicer side, and I've become content that if they really change, the shittiest people in my life changed 360, came up to me and said sorry, despite they've ruined my life in high school, made me change school to take SPM, I can forget everything. You know?
That's very. I was gonna say Mother Mary of you. Like, that's so of you. Oh my god.
Not easy.
Not
But
easy.
it's the way to go in life for me.
I feel like it takes a lot of work, like inner work, to really come to this point.
Yeah, it is. It takes a lot of inner work. So yeah, that's basically it. If you wanna reach out to me, be friends with me, apologize to me, my DMs and my arms are always open.
That's really kind of you. But yeah, so thank you so much for your time. I feel like this episode or this like 2 episodes will be absolutely gold. There's just so much solid advice. So thank you so much for spending time.